Hey everyone, I'm Olivia Sanders. Where do I even begin? I'm 28, killing it in my marketing career, and thought I had my family drama under control. That all changed with my little sister Emma's wedding. I was helping her plan this perfect day, doing my best to ignore the looming presence of our dad, Robert. Ever since the divorce, he's been a mess, drowning in booze and bad decisions, the worst of which is his new girlfriend, Veronica. She gave me bad vibes from the start. Liv, do you think Dad will actually show up sober? Emma asked one day while we were picking out floral arrangements. I hope so, Em. For your sake, I really do. But hope wasn't enough. As the big day got closer, I found myself playing referee more than maid of honor. My boyfriend, Marcus, was a saint through it all. Babe, he can't control everything, he said. I know, but if Dad ruins this for Emma, I'll never forgive him. I had no idea how much worse it would get. A week before the wedding, I met up with my best friend Zoe for coffee. She's always been the voice of reason. Spill it, Liv. What's really bugging you about Veronica? Zoe asked, giving me a knowing look over her latte. I leaned in, lowering my voice. There's something off about her, Zoe. The way she latched onto Dad so quickly, how she's always whispering in his ear. And get this, I overheard her on the phone talking about some big score coming up. Zoe's eyes widened. You think she's calming him? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. That determination led me down a rabbit hole, late nights scrolling through social media, discreet calls to Dad's old friends. I was piecing together a puzzle I wasn't sure I wanted to solve. The day before the wedding, Emma and I were at the venue when Dad and Veronica showed up unannounced. Daddy. Emma squealed, running to hug him. I stayed back, watching as Veronica's eyes darted around, calculating. My little girl, all grown up, Dad slurred, and my heart sank. He was already buzzed. Robert, darling, let's check out the bar. Veronica cooed, shooting me a smug look as they walked away. Emma turned to me, her eyes glistening. Liv. I cut her off with a hug. Don't worry, sis. Tomorrow's about you and Jake. Nothing's going to ruin it. If only I had known how wrong I was. They call it the calm before the storm. Well, our storm was brewing and it was about to hit like a Category 5 hurricane. Standing there, holding my baby sister, I made a silent vow. Come hell or high water, I was going to protect her happiness. Little did I know, I'd end up fighting for so much more than just a perfect wedding day. The ceremony was beautiful. Emma looked radiant, and for a moment, all our family drama faded into the background. As I stood beside her, watching her exchange vows with Jake, I felt a glimmer of hope. Maybe, just maybe, we could have one perfect day. But that hope shattered the moment we entered the reception. I spotted Dad at the bar, already 3 sheets to the wind, with Veronica clinging to him like a leech. You okay? Marcus whispered, squeezing my hand. I've got to keep it together for Emma, I muttered, forcing a smile. As the night wore on, the tension in the room became unbearable. Dad's laughter grew louder, his movements more erratic. Veronica's eyes were scanning the room, a strange gleam in them that made my skin crawl. Liv, Dad's making a scene, Emma whispered to me, her voice filled with worry. I'm on it, I assured her, marching over to where Dad was attempting a sloppy Macarena. Dad, let's get some fresh air, I suggested, trying to stay calm. Nonsense. I'm celebrating my baby girl's big day. He slurred, stumbling as he twirled. Veronica materialized at his side, her grip on his arm tight. Leave him alone, he's having fun. This isn't about fun, it's about respecting Emma's day, I said, struggling to keep my voice steady. Veronica's eyes narrowed. You think you're so perfect, don't you? Always trying to control everything. The argument escalated fast. We moved to a quieter corner, but our voices grew louder with each exchange. You don't know anything about our family, I spat. I know your daddy prefers my company to yours, she sneered. Something in me snapped. Is that before or after you drained him of his money? Veronica's face twisted with rage, and in a flash, she lunged at me, grabbing a knife from a nearby dessert table. Everything slowed down. I saw the blade glint under the reception lights, heard the screams, felt my heart race. All I could think was, I ruined Emma's wedding. Then Marcus tackled Veronica, sending the knife clattering to the floor. Chaos erupted, guests scattered, chairs overturned. Through the mayhem, I saw Emma's horrified face, Jake holding her back. Security rushed in, restraining Veronica as she screamed obscenities. As the police led Veronica away in handcuffs, I caught a glimpse of Dad, looking lost and broken. In that moment, I knew things would never be the same. The days after the wedding were a blur of police reports and sleepless nights. Every sound made me jump, the image of that knife flashing through my mind. "You're safe now, Liv," Marcus whispered, holding me close when the nightmares hit, but safety felt like a foreign concept. My own father's girlfriend had tried to stab me at my sister's wedding. How do you even come back from that? Emma was a wreck. When I visited her a week after the incident, she could barely look at me. All those months of planning, and for what? "My wedding will always be remembered as the day someone tried to kill my sister," she said, her voice thick with pain. I'm so sorry. I never meant. "I know it's not your fault," she cut me off, her voice hollow. "But I can't help feeling like our family is cursed or something." Dad, on the other hand, was living in a world of denial. He called constantly, leaving voicemails that made my blood boil. "Olivia, sweetie, let's not blow this out of proportion. Veronica was just upset. She didn't mean any harm." The final straw came when he showed up at my apartment, reeking of booze. "Dad, you need to leave. Now." "But Pumpkin, we're family. We need to stick together." I felt something hardened inside me. "No, Dad. We're done. I can't do this anymore." The hurt in his eyes almost made me waver, almost. But as I closed the door on him, I knew it was the right decision. Zoe, ever the investigator, started digging into Veronica's past. What we uncovered was shocking. "Liv, look at this," she said one night, spreading out papers across my coffee table. "Veronica's got a record, assault, fraud, you name it." I scanned the documents, feeling sick. How did Dad not know about this? So hesitated. That's the thing. I think he did. The revelation hit me like a ton of bricks. We found evidence of joint bank accounts and suspicious transfers. Dad wasn't just a victim, he was an accomplice. Telling Emma was one of the hardest things I've ever done. We sat in her kitchen, the wedding gifts still unopened in the corner. "I can't believe it," she whispered, tears streaming down her face. "How could he do this to us?" "I don't know him anymore," I said quietly, "but we need to protect ourselves now." Emma nodded, her resolve hardening. "I'm with you, Liv. Always." The guilt was overwhelming. I'd exposed our father's crimes, potentially ruining his life. But had he not already done that himself? The anger and confusion were too much to handle on my own. And that's how I found myself in therapy, trying to make sense of it all. "Olivia, it's okay to feel conflicted," my therapist, Dr. Chen, assured me. "You've been through a traumatic experience and you're grieving the loss of the father you thought you had. But shouldn't I hate him after everything he's done?" There's no should when it comes to emotions. What's important is acknowledging how you feel and working through it. Working through it. Easier said than done. As I left Dr. Chen's office that day, I felt a tiny spark of hope. It wasn't much, but it was a start. Maybe, just maybe, I could build something beautiful from the ashes of what my family used to be. 6 months after the wedding fiasco, I found myself in a place I never thought I'd be, happy, despite everything. Emma, Marcus, Zoe, and I had formed an unbreakable unit, our bond stronger than ever. To new beginnings, Emma toasted one night over dinner at my place. And to family, the one we choose, I added, clinking glasses with my sister. Veronica's trial was a media circus. I sat in a courtroom, my stomach in knots, as her true nature was exposed for all to see. Dad sat next to me, looking shell-shocked as evidence of her past crimes came to light. But the real bombshell was yet to drop. Zoe and I had been working tirelessly, gathering evidence of Dad's involvement in Veronica's schemes. "Your Honor, we have documentation proving Robert Sanders' complicity in Miss Blake's fraudulent activities," our lawyer announced in court. As the legal proceedings unfolded, my career was taking off in ways I hadn't expected. One Friday afternoon, my boss called me into his office. "Olivia, we're promoting you to Senior Marketing Director. Your resilience and creativity this past year have been exceptional." I left his office in a daze, immediately calling Marcus. "Babe, that's incredible." "I'm so proud of you," he exclaimed. Amidst the chaos, Emma and Jake decided to renew their vows. This time, it was a small, intimate affair in their backyard. "Second time's the charm," Jake joked, making Emma giggle as they exchanged rings once again. Watching them, I felt a weight lift off my shoulders. We were healing, finally, all of us. The day of Veronica's sentencing arrived. I stood to deliver my victim impact statement, my voice trembling but steady. The scars from that night run deep, but they've made me stronger. I'm here today not as a victim, but as a survivor. As Veronica was led away in handcuffs, I felt a chapter of my life closing. The real celebration came a month later. Emma, Jake, Marcus, Zoe, and I were at my favorite restaurant, toasting my promotion and our collective resilience. To Olivia, Zoe raised her glass, the strongest person I know. To all of us, I corrected, looking around at the faces of the people who'd stood by me through hell and back, for proving that family isn't just blood, it's loyalty and love. As we laughed and shared stories, I realized something profound. The past year had been a nightmare, but it had also been a gift. It showed me who my real family was, taught me my own strength, and gave me the courage to cut out the toxicity in my life. Sitting there, surrounded by love and genuine happiness, I knew that this was my happy ending. Not perfect, not without scars, but real and beautiful in its own way. And as I looked toward the future, I felt nothing but hope and gratitude for the family I found and the strength I discovered within myself. So that's where my story ends, but I'm curious about your thoughts. If you were in my shoes, would you have given your father another chance after everything he did? Or would you have maintained those boundaries like I did? It's a tough call, and I'm sure many of us have faced similar dilemmas with toxic family members. Share your experiences in the comments. I'd love to hear how you've handled these situations in your own lives. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more real-life drama and discussions about navigating complicated family dynamics. Your support means the world to me, and it helps me continue sharing these personal stories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.